Happy Sunday. How are you? I hope you're having a lovely Sunday. We're prepping for a big conversation today. We are prepping for a big conversation today. Marcelline is coming in. Hey, Marcelline. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Come on, guys. Happy Sunday. It's time for a big conversation. 4 years later. Marceline is joining me.
Yes.
And Curtis Ettienne is joining me today.
Wow. Let me see if I put on the lights here because I have not been.
Come
I
on
have this
in,
light streaming right over me, Margaret. The ceiling light.
You just have a lot of light on you. That's what it is. You got a lot of light. Happy Sunday, y'all.
I'm not in my usual setting.
This looks good. It's another big conversation Sunday. Welcome aboard. As you come in, get settled. We've got time. Our
Let me see if I
special
can
guest
sit here.
today is Mr. Curtis Ettienne. And because he's on Dominica and internet and Wi-Fi and electricity is unpredictable, he's coming in a few minutes after 5. But Marceline and I have something for you as we get ready for an update from Mr. Curtis Ettienne. 4 years after his daughter, Kernisha, went missing. So tonight we're catching up with Curtis. Marceline, you look lovely.
Thank you, Dudu.
4 years
Thank
later,
you.
father's search for truth, answers, and accountability. I know a lot of us have questions.
We decree that.
Yeah. So, of course, this is a trauma sensitive topic. And I think I need to remind people these days that they always have the option and the right to disconnect, unplug, go watch something else, right? You don't have to stay engaged in any topic that doesn't feel comfortable for you. Yeah. This is about a missing child, an unresolved investigation. When Curtis comes on, and we're hoping that he does come on, he says he'll be a few minutes late again because we have many situations in Dominica that need urgent attention, including internet access and electricity. So Curtis might pause, as you might if you were the father of a child who's been missing. He can decline any question, yeah, and he can take a break when he wants. I want to remind those of you who are joining us not to post rumors. I don't know that the rumors are helpful. If you think there might be some information that's missing in the mix, I would suggest that you report it to the relevant authorities. Okay? So, time. Yes, Marceline, are you good?
I'm trying. I have not in my because that thing was not connecting for me this afternoon.
Happy
Trying as
Sunday.
I may, it just wasn't happening this afternoon. But
Well, you're looking lovely as
nonetheless,
usual.
thank you. Thank you. You
Yes,
too.
thank
You look
you.
well
Thank
tanned.
you.
You
Thank
know, I
you.
probably need to join you wherever you are.
My
I love
nephew
that
tells
tan.
me I have been sun kissed, and I do feel kissed by the sun.
Yes, I see that, man. Yes,
I
I
do
see
feel
that.
kissed by the
You look
sun.
refreshing.
Thank you, thank
Yes,
you, thank you.
yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
So I just want to say, formally, a pleasant good afternoon to you, Margaret, and a pleasant good evening to all who have joined us this afternoon on this program. Greetings, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
We have, well, you said our guest is a bit of half an hour, running behind half
Mm-hmm.
an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully he will join us soon enough.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to say, it's a blessed Sunday afternoon. And I am glad we are here, not under the happiest of times, but it's another day to rejoice and be glad. And
Indeed.
we glad, yes, glad, despite the
You
circumstances.
know, Marceline, as you just said that, I'm going to interject with something that it's a verse of scripture that I heard from a preacher right before my fiance passed away. He taught on a verse, "Count it all joy." And that was one of the first things I remembered when I got this horrific news. And my brain couldn't wrap itself around the idea of counting it all joy, like
Mhm,
in the initial moment. But that's something I held on to because I said it
mhm,
cannot be in this inspired word for nothing, you know? And so
mhm,
I kept forcing myself to count it all joy, to count it
mhm,
all joy, to count it all joy in the darkest, in the darkest, in the darkest,
mhm,
because joy is a high emotion. Yeah,
mhm,
it's a very high emotion. And in these dark, dark days when your body's fighting pain and rage and sadness and grief and
mhm,
loss, it's just, it's one of those that however you can connect to it, you've got to
mhm,
try, or else we
mhm.
can just stay in the abyss, which is where darkness lives, you know, uh, darkness lives. Yeah.
And
So
it's
yeah.
true. And it's true because there's no joy, but how can you express joy when your heart is sinking?
Very
and
hard.
and that's why they said the heart is not so smart.
Mhm. It's very
But
hard.
we have to try. We just have to try. And regardless of the circumstances, we have to try. But you
Mhm.
know something, it's all positive because we can still come together in spite of the circumstances. We
Mhm.
can still, be here this afternoon as a people, as a
Mhm.
community, as a country, just to listen and to engage with each other. And as we said earlier, we are interviewing, or we are just having a discussion with Mr. Curtis Ettienne, the father of the 12-year-old Kernisha Ettienne, who just vanished. Poof. She was here for a few days, and then she just vanished into thin air 4 years
Mhm.
ago. And if it needs more than ever, it's time that we, all women, mothers, aunts, and sisters, we need to come together with one voice, with one unity. And I just want to say to all the women and mothers and aunts and sisters who are on this live, I greet you with a special love and connection with you because we are rising to protect our children. And we will no longer bear the burden of pain in silence and get consumed by fear and anger, but we are taking that pain to action.
To
So
action.
it is imperative that we commit ourselves to make the case for full preservation and protection of our children and channel it to the relevant authorities.
Because that's where the power is. That's where you break the back of pain and trauma. You
Indeed.
break its back when you channel it. You break its power over you. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Indeed. Because we heard Mr. Blackmore said he is fed up. He said that in Parliament.
Mhm.
He called them malfaiteurs. Don't
Mhm.
call me if you hurt children. So
Yes.
if a man can say that, then how about us, we the women, who bore the children for 9 months, went through the labor pains to have those kids? How about us?
Mm.
So, and it's more of us. It's more of us because it is important to remember that women are more in numbers in the world. Statistics have told us so that there are more women than men, which should not carry, or it should not carry that negative connotation only, meaning, we know how we like to say it in the palace. There's so many women, you can get 5 women to 1 man, or 10
Mhm.
women to 1 man. And we have to change that. We have to change that around. We have to turn that around and speak positive things with our numbers, you know, because there are more women than men to change the world.
You know what? I love uh I'm a woman, but I love men. I love my dad. I love my son. I love my brothers. I think sometimes we forget that we need our men as much as we need them.
Yes, we do.
And I don't know why. uh I don't have all the answers as to why we're not getting as much as maybe we need or desire or deserve from our men, our brothers or fathers, yeah, our sons. Um, I wonder if there's something we women, or there are more things we as women need to do, because a man does not start off as a man, he starts off as a baby. So do we need to be doing more? What are we missing? I was looking at a flyer for the march, which I want to encourage everybody to go to, that some of the women in the community have put together, organized, arranged to support Jabia's law to go to fight against child abuse. And on the flyer, there's a beautiful picture of a little girl. And then my heart said to me, well, I wonder if these days, when we think child, save our children, we're only thinking of save our girls. When, in your mind, when you think about let's save our children are being abused, are you also thinking about our boys? Are we also thinking about our boys? Because our boys are becoming men and fathers. And, some of us as women, we could say that our men are hurting our girls. Yeah, but men start off as boys. So what are we missing?
Well, when we say let's save our children, it's both feminine and masculine. When we say children, it can encompass both boys and girls, because we have to understand that boys are also getting hurt. But if you look back in our Dominican situation, we have we have we have had a prime minister for 26 years, and we have had those issues from time and time immemorial. But what has changed? Nothing has changed. So the men are not doing anything to help us change the situation. So that is where the women come in, because yes, we need our men. And I'm not saying that our men do not play an important role in the home, and in our communities, in society. Yes, they do. They do balance and play a very important role, because I've always said that the child is better off within the nuclear family. So to say that we are more in numbers, there are certain things that women can champion, like, changing the laws, changing the laws in Dominica. And I am talking about the Dominican situation, where we have had those antiquated laws on the books that do not serve our children. And while we said, well, okay, we talk about both men and women. When we say children, we are talking about the children, masculine and feminine, boys and girls, and that's what we are talking about. But but um but it's we have to stay on top of
We have to grapple with this. We have to fight with this problem and
yes, we
solve it.
have to.
As we wait for Curtis, y'all. So Curtis is coming in, okay? And we're just waiting on him to come in. As you mentioned something about the nuclear family, I would add that for us, historically, it's not only been the nuclear family, it's been the extended family, where you have not just mother and father in the house helping to raise children, but aunties, uncles, neighbors, friends, godparents, everybody involved in looking out, in caring for, in protecting, in providing for. Because if your mother was working late, then you could go eat your afternoon, right after school, at an auntie's house, right, or at your grandmother's house every afternoon. Coming from Clifton School, my grandparents would leave me what they called my afternoon. So that allowed me to go there on my dad's side, right? And even if all my grandpa had was a goat tunch of dasheen, I would sit and eat it, even though I was also going to get my afternoon snack at my mom's house. But that connection allowed me to spend time with them, even if it was 30 minutes. I could talk to them, they could talk to me. You behaving yourself, you learning, you studying, behave yourself, do right, look, here's a mango man, do it, plant it in the yard, right? Do this, right? So I wonder about that piece. Yeah. And I mean, I know we life has changed, but do we have to change it so much that it feels like, say, if you come from a single parent home, that you really are just on your own, you know?
When you look at it, Margaret, a lot of times when it is felt like your daddy is not in the home, then people take more advantage of you when your daddy is not there. But because in a lot of situations, if they know your daddy was there to put couple punches on them, that would not have happened, because everybody, a lot of people, boy, afraid mamsel father, we mamsel father so bad. Yes. But mothers are, and sometimes it takes the mothers away from the home, and we don't have the auntie nene,
The
godfather structure.
support,
The
the
support
net,
is
the
not there.
support.
It's not right now too. Right now our children are not being raised by the entire village. It's my children against their children. It's theirs and not mine. It's mine and not theirs. And we can't risk it like that.
We
And
cannot.
we can't raise kids like that. And right now, even if you would want to raise kids like that, but we have to forget that our society has changed. There are some people that who will not tolerate other persons trying to admonish their children,
Mm.
and, or talk in some sense, or even bring a complaint to them about their children. So we have to understand that our society has really changed. And but notwithstanding that, we have to really push as women, really push as mothers, really push as aunts and
As
sisters.
fathers.
Yes. And
Yes.
yeah, and with the fathers too, because there are some men who come along as well. But
Yes. And
who
uncles
cries more?
and big
Who cries
brothers.
more? Who
Hmm?
cries more in those situations? Who
Well,
hurts
who
more?
cries? I would say women cry more tears outside, but a lot of
Yeah.
men, their hearts are breaking, but they're not verbalizing it or expressing it the same way. You were telling me
Well,
recently
that
of
too.
how you were telling me you were sharing something with me personal, but your husband's response to that
Mhm.
darkness, right? So his heart was breaking. He
Yes, he
just wasn't
was.
crying out loud. Yeah, yeah. Well, as you
Yes, he
talk
was.
about us women taking the charge, Attorney Tika Jude has stepped forward with what she is
Nice.
proposing to be Jabia's law.
Hmm.
Okay. So, those of us who are on the live so far, as we wait for Curtis to come in, you've heard about this, right? So, Attorney Tika Jude has put forth 11 proposals and she wants to pass it. She wants us to help her, to help the community pass some of these laws in Dominica. Some of those would include, hey, let's reach out, let's move, let's mobilize quickly if we hear a child is missing, right? Let's raise the age of consent to something that makes sense because 16 does not seem to make sense. And you were talking about antiquated laws that have been on the books for a long time. And we were speaking to Deborah Charles Mark just last week about how for 13 years, she and other Dominicans have been trying to get our lawmakers to increase the age of consent. 13 years.
Hmm.
Miss Judy is asking for something like a child alert system. You know, somebody asked that during the interview with the uh, police department, right? During that first press conference. Do we need something like an Amber Alert? Miss Jude is proposing something like that. The chief of police said no, he didn't think we needed that right now. But Miss Jude is suggesting that a law that we could honor Jabia with, right? Channeling our rage and our pain and our, right, helplessness, powerlessness, into creating a national alert system for children if they go missing with a mandatory first hour response. Within the first hour of the police finding out that a child is missing, she's suggesting that there is a response. Y'all type in the chat yes or no if you think that these things make sense. You know, do you think they make sense? Is it asking too much? Is it asking too much?
Hmm. Well, it is not asking for too much because at the end of the day, we have to implement the things or implement the measures that would make it easier to get the information out in locating our children.
Mm-hmm.
We have to. But while we are doing all of that, we also have to look at the fact that there are some lapses. There are
For
some
example.
lapses. And this afternoon, I had the opportunity to speak to a young lady. And from since we started this program, Margaret, and from since the murder of Jabaya Paul, a number of persons have reached out to me, and and they're literally saying you all should continue, speaking, continue the discussion, continue talking about it because this needs to be spoken up of. So this afternoon, I had the opportunity to speak to a young lady,
Mm-hmm.
and she said she started getting abused, and
Mm.
that is sexually from 9 years old by her stepfather
Mm.
inside of the house.
Mm.
And when she brought she spoke to her mom about it, And she just said to her, do not say anything. Don't talk about it, because this is who is taking care of them. So from 9 years old, 9 years old, up until she was 15 years old, up until she was 15 years old. Just imagine that. She spoke about the man taking her close to in the bushes by the beach, and he's showing her all of the bushes. And he said, if you say anything, if you talk about it, you see all those bushes? Dominica has a lot of bushes. So it's a long time these people have been doing that. And I spoke to another
Yes,
young
very
lady.
long. The thing
Yes,
is,
I spoke to another young lady
go
who
ahead,
had
Marcelline.
who had the same
Yes,
issue. And when she told her mom
yes,
what her aunt's
yes,
husband was doing to her, her mom told
yes,
her, don't repeat it,
yes,
because it's auntie is helping us. Auntie is the one helping us. Don't repeat it. So,
yes.
so you see what the trend where I'm going. So this means that
Mm-hmm.
we can make all the laws, or advocate for all the laws, but if we do not step up as mothers inside of the home and protect
In
our
the home.
children from the predators we bring around them, then the law on the outside cannot protect the children from abuse. It has to start from within the home.
From within, from
Yes,
within,
from
from
within.
within.
So if we start from within and we do all that we can, and I'm urging our mothers and those of the women on the live, the mothers, please share the live and take the discussion, and let's come together and let's talk about it, because it is endemic in our society. Dominica has a lot of pedophiles. We
A
have to
lot.
understand that. We have to know that. And we have to agree that this thing has plagued our country for a very, very long time. So we have to start from the home to do more to protect our children. And then, yes, we have to form, that force to come to go to government and say, this is what we want done. We want the laws changed, because we are a lot in numbers. And if we join our strengths together, by that, there is no force that can come against us or reckon with us, because we should now take it up. Now is the tipping point to say, well, this is what we want. And
This
this is
cannot be business
that
as
way.
usual.
We
We
can, because
must
it
do
cannot
this
be.
in a different way. We must do it in a different way. Our typical way is to get very emotional, very angry, very sad, yell, scream for about 4 weeks. And then life distracts us. We cannot afford to do it like that again. And how you do that is you put in a law, at least a new policy in place. Because that policy, if we are willing to implement it and to push it, it will guide our actions the next time. But if we
Definitely.
don't, then it's almost as if we're starting over each time. That's a bit insane. It's really not, it doesn't make much sense to just start over each time, because you're wasting time and so many other children are getting hurt. So many other children are getting hurt. You mentioned two people calling you. I had a young lady call me and tell me her mother did the same thing, allowed the same thing to happen to her, young lady from Dominica, with a boyfriend. This time, the mother's boyfriend
Hmm.
abusing the girl. And mother turned it all towards the girl and said, you did it. You wanted it. You were trying to take my man from me. And so the help and the support that the young person needed, us, we the mothers, we the women who are technically supposed to hold the virtue of the community, we are being, we are not being virtuous. We're acting, I think, from our fear, very afraid to speak up and to have that loud man or loud person, because women also abuse children. We're afraid to have that loud person say we are lying, or say, I will not give you what I was giving you last week. You're on your own. I think the other piece is, as women, you have to become stronger inside yourself. You have to learn how to provide for yourself, so that you're not just weak, feeling weak and helpless and vulnerable, so that men who act as predators, because not every man is acting as a predator, but
Mm-mm.
many men and women will use your weakness as an opening to come in as a savior, when they are in fact a demon, to come and take advantage of vulnerable children.
Mm.
It's not just, the vulnerability is not just the 5-year old, the 6-year old, it's also the poor person, the person who doesn't have enough resources. So the parents say in their mind, you know what? I mean, there are people who are actually giving their kids off to people in the community with money or with name, and we are hurting the people who are becoming the leader of the welfare, the leader of the police department, the leader of the principal. That's who we are training. That's who we are breaking like that. These are the people who become our leaders in the community. Now, when you have that kind of traumatic history, it clouds your judgment. It makes it easier for some people. Now, it could go both ways. One person might be like, because this bad thing happened to me and it hurts so much, I'm not going to allow it to happen to other people.
Mhm.
The other hand, you have people who are like, yeah, they asked for it, they wanted it. Well, I survived and they can survive too. You understand? So it's just, we just have to do better. And we can do better.
Hmm.
We
Man,
can.
I, I'm still trying to wrap my head around some things that, as a mother would tolerate for your 9-year old, your 10-year old. Why for what? You know, all that trauma, you create all that trauma in your child for $5 and a bowl of rice or a piece of fish.
And that you're going to have to keep until
Yeah,
you put yourself in a strong position. That means you are always going to have to sacrifice your child for your needs. Do you see how even just selfish that is?
it
Just
is.
how selfish that is?
My
That
God.
my child, I will step on my child for my economic needs instead of getting stronger, learning a skill, right? Trying something new, taking a couple extra courses in school. They're offering subjects, right? Maybe I take a few classes, maybe I learn how to sew, to cook, so I can generate income, because I think it's an economic problem as well. It's a big economic problem.
Man, and it just made me feel so sorry because one of the persons, one of the ladies said she got pregnant at 15 years in that situation there.
Imagine.
In 15 years.
Day in, day out,
And the mother
365 days a year.
and the mama took her to the doctor to abort the baby because she was, I mean, how the hell you do that? How? I can't understand that. I just don't. And some, while we talk about the with the men and what they do, some of the mothers have other problems. They have the problem too, because
I agree.
how you know that. I know of a person, a lady, and every time she recants the what her youth was like, her own brother used to molest her. And when she would tell her mother, the mother so did not like her. She would tell her, go in patois, go let him
Mhm.
take you in patois. How do you do that? So some mothers, they destroy their own children. And my God, if there are any mothers on this life who have done that to their children, they need to apologize to their children, because this is just some dark things that that is coming up, you know, with this situation in
With this
Dominica.
situation. Yeah.
People are
So do
just
you see,
speaking out.
Marceline? Do you see, Marceline, how we can use this moment? And we cannot wait, because the level, you called it endemic. It is endemic. The level of abuse that's happening on so many different levels. We must heal. We must stop. We must, correct our course. We must. I don't understand. I really don't understand. And the thing is, in a civil society, it, there there ought to be laws that help people do better. There ought to be right consequences that come with whatever the action is. Now, even if we love each other, and because we love each other, we must enact the consequences. Yeah. The Bible, that good word says, I chastise you. Why? Because I love you. It's because we love, we must punish wrongdoing. We have to hold both. We don't have to separate and say, well, you over there, you just a pig, but then we're still not even doing anything about you being the pig. You know what I mean? We have to create a society that is healthy, that is safe to live in. And right now, we can talk about it, but unless there are laws with teeth, as in where people are actually following through on the laws, where mothers, when the DPP or the investigator comes, they don't say, oh, quash that, because it is my brother that did this to my child, or the family gave me money, and so I am not going to say anything about it, or it was a pastor who did it, and so I don't want to dirty their name. It's not you dirtying their name. And even if you love them, we have to love each other. But loving each other, there's the misconception. Loving each other also goes with accountability. We are confused about that. We think if we love you, we must not hold you accountable. But it's because you love that you don't want the person's soul to be damned. Therefore, you hold them accountable. I chastise you because I love you. And when you chastise, like in children, when we're correcting children, and we're not just correcting them as if to destroy them, but you're chastising the child, but you're teaching them at the same time. So they understand the next time. You're not chastising them because you're too bad, you're too wicked, and you do this. No, you're chastising, but you have to be teaching simultaneously. I think we are confused about that. We think we have to hate you to punish you. No, it's because you love me, you must chastise me. And after you have chastised me, doesn't mean you stop loving me, because your love for me helps me to correct myself, redemption and mercy. You understand? Or else we are creating these kinds of really weird separations and pockets of things that it's not working. It cannot work because it cannot work. It's not so it have to work. You see? It's a
Hmm.
big problem. We used to do it better. We used to do it a lot better. We're trying it in a different way. That way is not working no more, share. Because it's not as if those bad things didn't used to happen back in the day. But I think, as if I find people were more willing, at least, I don't know, I find, because I've shared on lives before that, I was 6 years old when I was almost sexually assaulted by a friend of the family who came home to help the family. Community, everybody helps everybody, right? This was a person who used to pass, and the word we use for it now is grooming. The person would call me my grandma's name and smile and laugh. And that person used a 30-minute pocket of time to almost sexually assault me. Yeah, a 6-year-old. What does a 6-year-old have for a grown adult? I don't know, but that is rampant in the community. Now, I've talked about the empathy piece. How that worked out is the family came to our home and the family actually asked for forgiveness on this person's behalf. Now, what is the next right step for the family to take? What my family did was to actually take it to court because that is the next right step. But it's also a right step for the family to come and say, I'm sorry, our child tried to do this to your child. You understand? We have to understand, we have to go back to doing it, all of it like this. So the situation went to court. I'm not sure where the ball got dropped, but it did get dropped because it never came to a full resolution. But I had to stand up. I had to allow the police to come home, sit and recount the details to the police officer. They took it to court. I stood up in the box in Portsmouth. This is a public account. It's in the law, right? It's a legal record, I'm sure, somewhere. Stand up at 6 years old and say what I recalled happened. Yeah. But what I'm saying is there are there are things we don't want to do anymore. So as my parents could have said, you know what? They came and they said they're sorry, so we're not going to do anything about it.
Mhm.
No, you still have to do the next right thing legally. But we're not doing the piece of asking for forgiveness either, right? We're going away to hide. We're just feeling ashamed and bad that our child did something so horrendous. But that is not how healing happens, though. And we have to at least make an effort. I think we have to at least make an effort. Yeah. Yeah. This stuff is complicated. And when it's complicated, again, sometimes we can stay stuck in just the emotions of it. But we have to take the next right step. And for me, right now, that calls for us reviewing these laws we have on the books, including holding mothers accountable. Like over here, I mean, I work in the child advocacy space. I've done it for 20 years. And if a mother did that, and the Department of Family and Children Services came and investigated, if a mother tried to say, well, no, my brother did it, but I don't want to press charges, that mother is at risk of losing custody of their child, losing parental rights, has to go to classes, has to attend therapy to understand what is wrong with your thinking that you don't want to take the next right step to protect your child. You see? So it's a complicated issue, but it's not that complicated, I don't think. But the state has to support people in their moments of weakness when all they're being is emotional, because the mother is being emotional when she says, I don't want to do it anymore. People are going to look at me on the side. I'm going to be ashamed. We stay in our feelings versus doing the right thing. So the law comes to help us, to force us to do the right thing, because that crime is not just a crime against the family or the child, it's a crime against the state. Yeah. And that's the level to which our state has to make these things so that we don't have the excuse as law people that, oh, the mother did not want to press charges. Oh, the child is 16. 16 is too young for a lot of things we're allowing our children to do. And 16, but we have 12, 13-year-olds doing this stuff.
And the way I view this endemic in our country, and we can say how much we want, it happens everywhere in the world. Yes, it happens everywhere in the world, but the world elsewhere in the world can deal with the issues. We are Dominicans first. And what happens to our children in Dominica happens to us. And
Exactly.
my mother had something saying, what do ears, do eyes, and do nose?
Hmm.
So when you look at
What
it,
do
we are
you mean by
only,
that?
well, if something affects your ears, then it
Mhm.
also affects your eyes and it affects your nose. And that is the problem, because we are such a small country, and we are all related.
Yes, one way or another.
One way or the other, we are all related. So when something happens to somebody's child, we can't say, oh, that is their problem, that is their child. We can't do that. We are just a small community with a handful of people. So
Mhm.
presently we are faced with a mountain, but I am hoping we will not quit. I am hoping we will keep on striving until we climb over. I am hoping that we can find a pass through, a tunnel underneath, or simply stay and make the mountain, turn that mountain into a gold mine
Yes,
with God's
yes.
help. And what that
With God's
means
help.
is that we will choose determination and creative problem solving instead of giving up with this ginormous national issue, which is an endemic in our country. So saying we have tried for 13 years, it's we have to go back to the drawing board. And in my opinion, a pathway has been created. There is a pathway
Yes,
now out of that horrible situation,
yes.
because never in the history of crimes in Dominica
This is a new one. This is a new
have
level.
police officers been accused of murdering a child. We can always look for, the other way. But now it's time to look ahead. We have to find another way around. So if one path was blocked, then I think the tipping point has been created.
Look, Rosamond is asking, could it be possible that this scourge of sexual abuse and taking advantage of younger children, it's not just girls, taking
Well, possibly.
advantage of younger children in the community, could it be a deeply entrenched part of our society that has spanned generations and started with our great grand and great great grandfathers who used to give their daughters away? They used to marry them off early for financial gain.
Hmm. Well, with those difficult experiences that we have been faced with as a country and a people, the only way we can defeat it is by growing stronger.
The only, can you say that again? Can you say that again?
The only way we can defeat those difficult experiences is by growing stronger. Growing
And I
stronger.
particularly think the women of the community have to go stronger.
Yes. So it's time that we let our voices be heard, to be in the forefront, demanding that the laws of the land that do not work and aren't sufficient to protect our children be changed. We have to do that because
Because we need help. Because so far, what we've
exactly,
been doing has not been working well for us at all, at
it
all,
has
at
not been
all.
working. Because think about it, we are here as a people, united not only by blood, but by community, by country, by purpose, and by all of the circumstances that cause our hearts to bleed.
Mm-hmm.
So, how many of us are still angry, just anticipating what may have been? We are still angry, just anticipating, just thinking about,
Because
and
there's more coming. There's
we are
more
thinking of
coming.
all of that. What happened? It is in those very circumstances that speak to our conscience to act. In Proverbs 31, verse 8 to 9 says, speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, like the children who are
Like the
abused.
children, like the poor people, the poorer, those with less means who feel overwhelmed by those with means. That's important too, eh? Because a
Yes,
lot of us lose our voices when we
yes,
lose. Yeah, I mean, we don't have enough money. We don't feel as if we are big enough in the society. A lot of abuse
definitely.
happens.
Or people will not believe us if we speak up. But it also says to speak up for the motherless, the fatherless, and those without a voice, and see that they get justice. Kernisha Ettienne does not have her voice.
She does not.
Jebiah Paul does not have her voice.
She doesn't.
All the other persons who have gone missing or killed do not have their voices.
Have you seen the list? As we wait for Curtis, y'all, I know y'all have been very patient. We're still waiting on Curtis. Again, we're dealing with internet access and electricity problems that have become very unreliable in Dominica of late. And I appreciate you all sharing in the conversation because we still have to talk about these things too. Yeah. I really
Yeah,
hope he can
indeed.
join us. Yeah. I really hope he can join us. But we really appreciate you all sitting with us and sharing your thoughts and
Which we will
asking these
read in a bit.
questions. Go
Mhm.
ahead, Marcelline.
Yeah. So all the other persons, as I was saying, all the other persons who have either gone missing or killed do not have their voices. Thus, the reason we must speak up and see that they get justice. It is a biblical obligation.
It's a duty.
It's an obligation
Mhm.
because we say we come from Christian community. We are people of conscience. So we cannot stay silent because it's not our child or it's that person's child, or we have the right to demonize the victim.
Right, right. If they're
We have
poorer,
right
if
to
they
do
don't have
that.
much money, if they don't have much money, if they say maybe based on certain behaviors, right? Like say people will use the excuse, oh, that child was too fast, right? Or she was big before her time, right? As if a child is responsible for an adult's action. Yeah. We find these excuses to help us feel better about these things. So we have to change.
There's a saying which says, when the going gets rough, the tough gets going. This is the reason we should get going, because the going is rough now.
It
My
is
God,
rough.
it is rough. But what we do not quit. We do not quit. We have to tough it up. and form groups or bind ourselves together and
We
take the
do. We have to
charge
bind
forward.
together.
We
We
have to
have to
act.
bind together.
We have to act. We
We have to
cannot
bind
be
together.
we cannot be just, expressing our anger behind social media, and then we have not even seen it fit to stand up with our placards and make our demands.
Yeah.
As a citizen, it is our right to make demands. We can make demands on our lawmakers. We can make demands on our government. We
It's
can
also
make
our
demands.
duty. It's also our duty because, again, you just said Proverbs says we have to speak up, not just for ourselves, but those who cannot.
Those without a voice. And there are always going to be people in our communities without without voices. There are always going to be people in our communities like that. Because the whole thing is, if you can't take care of yourself, and if I am feeding you, and if I'm paying your bills, then you take the abuse, and you can't say anything. It goes back to the mother that said, this is the man who is taking care of you all. So you're 9 years, but a grown ass man is raping you.
Oh my
What is the
God.
man who takes care of you? How is he taking care of you? How is that practical? Isn't that mental illness for
It
a
is
mother to
mental
think like that?
illness. It is mental illness.
How?
And it persists. It persists, because you have just warped and changed that person's way of thinking about themselves, about life, right? For the rest of their lives. It's going to impact how they are with their children, how they are with the people they marry, how they are at work, everywhere. Complex trauma is chronic PTSD. So many of our people, based on this history, as Veronica is saying, are walking around with chronic post traumatic stress disorder.
Yes. You should have heard how the young lady screaming that how much she hates her mother for doing that to her, not protecting
For
her.
not protecting her,
9 years
actually
old.
throwing her under the bus when she did come out and express what was happening.
And it had gotten so bad that persons in the community knew that that was going on. So they started
And they did
giving the,
nothing.
they started giving the child mapwe. Oh, you and your mother,
Yeah.
you taking your mother, you know what?
Yeah.
But since she was 9 years old,
Yeah.
man,
Imagine.
man, I cannot understand that. I'm trying to wrap my head around that, and I cannot understand why, you know, why the man is still alive. I just cannot understand that. I don't.
Look, Pyro is saying it also in Dominica, when families do take cases to court, right? I know, like for my family in my situation, when 50 years ago, cases go on forever in the courts, back and forth and back and forth. And you think it's going to be resolved, but it doesn't get resolved, right? Without outcomes. And many people get fed up and they walk away from the cases.
Well, there should be a juvenile court, and they have to take things seriously, because I saw the how do you call him? The Minister of Security
Security. Mhm.
tears. And I saw him in Parliament very angry, very
Mhm.
upset. So it's good
Mhm.
he is upset, and it's good he's angry, so that he can take on a lot of the things that uh, we have been saying for years. It's time to look at it, because the level of crime against minors is getting worse in Dominica.
It's getting worse.
It is the
It's too
worst of the
much.
worst. And this has happened within their own fraternity. It is the worst of the
It's the
worst.
worst of the worst.
So right now is the tipping point for us to make our demands, because we cannot even trust those who are supposed to protect us. So
And keep us safe
we now have to implement laws to protect us.
from them.
Yes, to protect us,
From
laws.
them too.
Else, if this thing continues, then I see a lot of
Roseman
reprisals.
says she thinks culturally too, we as a community that's supposed to be helping, we've been encouraging and normalizing shaming victims when they fall prey to abuse, just as you're saying. And women getting mépris when they're the ones getting harmed. And we women, we do it the most and the hardest and the worst. Yeah. We think, again, some of us have come to think it's not mine. You are dirty. Stay far from me. You know, if I pull you in, that would mean I am dirty too, right? That's not true. That is not true. We are too small to be so separate. It's not good for us. It's not good for us. And even if everybody cannot do it, there need to be some people in the community who people know, you know what, I can go sit down on her step today. She will look out for me. She will take care of me. I mean, I know there are people in my village who, after one woman died, many people came up and said, people didn't know, but this is what she was doing.
Hmm.
Yeah. She was pulling me. I was acting the fool. And she would see me and she would pull me into her house and say, Sao ka fe la lana? Stop, sir. Only put stop fe se baray sala. And a lot of the young men spoke up and said, meanwhile, people don't know a thing, you know, about what she's doing. You know, families who had been in distress were speaking up and saying, we didn't have money, nah. Our home was going through hell. She would give them a $20. That's how we have to protect the community. We don't push people who are struggling or who are just the dark ones. The further you push the dark one away, the more they go off isolated and the darker things they do. We have to pull them inside the circle.
Hmm.
You know, things like addiction get better when we become more connected. You know, like the paro, you got to pull the paro inside the circle, because the more disconnected the paro is, the more he stays addicted. We have to see that.
Okay. Margaret, can you hear me?
Okay, we're here. We were doing a little buffering for a little minute here, but we are
Yeah.
here. You're
Yes.
still
I will.
waiting on Curtis again.
Please.
um, right now we don't know what is his situation, and we apologize if the only person you came to listen to was Curtis. I do appreciate y'all coming, and I'm really, I think I feel actually proud of us for staying. Because sometimes our attention span is for salacious things and just for beefy things. But I think I'm very proud and happy that so many people have stayed on the live, even though we're still waiting on Curtis. And y'all are engaging with us and sharing with us, asking questions, sharing your thoughts. What do you think, Marceline?
Of course, definitely, because this is beyond the Curtis. This is a broad issue. Because the entire country is up in arms, and the situation in Dominica right now, it is still fluid.
It's fluid, it's happening, it's ongoing.
So that's what is happening right now. And what makes it dangerous is that it's it's who is supposed to protect and serve, who was supposed to prevent it from happening.
And right now, we don't know motive, right? Right now, we don't even know what is the motive.
We
All
don't
we
know
know is something
anything right now.
very dark happened. And things don't just happen, they start as seeds. Yeah. And along the way, there are people who could have made different choices. They don't make the choices. I'm sure there were people along the way who were overwhelmed, did not ask for help, did not reach out. Like Chiketo is saying, Something else we do back home is we might see something, we might see some sick, wrong behavior, and we cover it up instead of trying to fix it. Okay, here's Curtis calling y'all. Let's see what he's saying. Hey, Curtis.
Yeah.
Hey, Curtis.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Yeah. You hear me?
I can hear you. The people can hear you too. But what's your status? What's happening?
The problem is but now I try to connect, but I don't. I think they want my email. I don't have no email.
Just
That's
do
my
it on
problem.
your phone. You should be able to just do it on your phone. When you
Like
click the
the
link,
thing.
yeah, click the link and see if you can just do it on your phone.
They asking me for some email things to enter into your okay. Let me try again. I'll see what happens. I'll call you.
Okay, I
Okay.
appreciate you. We've been
Yeah.
here. We're waiting on you. Take your time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or else, Margaret, if you can't get him
Yeah.
from the email, you could just interview him from the phone as you just spoke to
Yes.
him. You
Yes.
can hear
Yeah.
loud and clear.
You heard me loud and clear?
Yes, we can hear
Okay,
you loud
great.
and clear. You can hear him loud and clear.
Okay, great.
You just interview him.
That way. All right. He's gonna try again. But Chiqueto is saying that we cover it up from our shame. So we get overwhelmed by our feelings again, and we don't do the next right thing. That's the part, and sometimes you need help with that. Sometimes you need the law to push you or pull you to do the right thing because our emotions, and again, I am telling us we have become too highly emotional. It's okay to feel a lot of emotions, but you must learn and practice how to channel it into something productive. Or else your feelings are just energy that's getting wasted. It's just up in the
But
air.
Margaret, you see, some people.
I lost you, Marceline. You said
Okay,
some people.
you see, some people will not come forward because we have to understand that the kind of society we have in Dominica too. Instead of supporting you, instead they support you, they will malign you, and you, the victim, becomes the victim again,
Exactly.
because society, our communities will turn on you, and that is the reason some people will just eat the pain
Back
and not
down.
say
Back down.
anything because they don't
And
want people
hide.
to know. They don't want people to
Yeah.
know. They don't want people to see them as that. So everybody's gonna know. So keep quiet. Don't say anything, because that's going to make a big public I'm sure it's going to make a public spectacle out of the victim. So don't say anything like it's your fault. But I think our
Right.
society is still as ignorant as pre-colonial time.
And when you say ignorant, you mean what?
It's like they have not. Our society is not a society that is up to date with current issues. How what we should accept, what we shouldn't accept. We don't even know
like
our
this, like
rights.
TT is saying, what we're teaching, right, in the community should go even beyond teaching children about boundaries. We have to do that early, you know. We have to teach even adults what grooming looks like, right? It's from at all levels we have to educate ourselves and our children. I propose that we teach a life skills class beginning from preschool, where we teach kids all of these things. So even if they don't get it at home, which some kids will get it from home, but if you put it and you make it so pervasive, everybody's consciousness is going to have it. It's the same way, like where every child who comes to preschool, they learn how to sing A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Everybody doesn't come knowing it. But by the time they leave preschool, everybody knows the same thing, so that when you're in third form, you can still sing the same song. All of us have the same information. So even if you choose not to use the information, you still have access to it. Everybody knows it. That's how teaching these things from preschool on up. There should be a class at every developmental stage on this life skills, how to be in relationship with people, how to protect yourself, how to use your words to practice your assertiveness skills, how to ask for help, emotional intelligence, how to feel your feelings without hurting yourself or hurting other people, how to channel it, how to do positive. You can use the worst situation to create the most beautiful thing. That's where we have to get. We cannot just stay at the I am overwhelmed stage and I am just enraged, sad, and we stay there because I'm telling you, we are wasting our emotions. You waste it because it's just like fuel, energy in a battery. You just give it off. What's happening on some levels is other people are using that because it is fuel, it is energy. They are using it now, sometimes even against you. So we have to take responsibility for that. And how we can do that as parents, the same mothers, is demand these classes in our schools. We used to have it in civics, where you at least had a little chance to learn some of these things, how to be a good citizen, how to report. If you see something, say something. You understand? So that you get out of that shyness. If everybody's doing it, then we create a new norm. That is what becomes normalized. Curtis is calling again. Hey, Curtis.
Yeah, too much problem.
Okay, too much problem. Well, stay on the phone with us because they said they can hear you well.
Right.
All right. Well, welcome. Let's just talk. We can hear you okay. All right. Well, yes.
Next time it will be better, sir.
That's okay. We're doing the best we can, Curtis. That's life. All right.
Since they can hear my voice, yeah?
Yeah, we can hear your voice. Okay. So we want to welcome you guys. This is Curtis Ettienne. He's Kernisha'S dad. And Curtis reached out. Curtis, why did you reach out to me?
Because, why I reach out to you is that, you is somebody that can really sift things. Because I listen to your, to your shows and so on and blogs. I don't listen to you well. So I think you have the voice to really blow that or song that alarm or trumpet for me. Because my presence here this afternoon is to call out, I would not say cry out, that's too weak, to call out for further investigations in my daughter's disappearance. I would say again, the writing is too clear now for them to let it just slip away. I cannot take the matter on my hand, I not the law. So that is why I'm here now crying, or not crying, but pleading to them that open the case, CID, whatever, and restart it from scratch to see what juice they're going to get from it. I mean, squeeze the rest of the orange to see what juice, it have more juice in it. I know because the same way I see in what's happening from A to Z now, I try to talk in a masking way, the suspects.
Right.
I would say it like that. I don't want to call names. The suspect, which more than 50% of the population of the country knows. Right?
Yes,
so
we're with you.
Whosoever that listening to me outside of our circles, out there in the cyber world, they understand the code. The authorities, the investigating authorities like CID and the rest, they know.
Yeah.
Not me alone, but we all are pleading to reopen the case and re-interrogate. Not on the surface, but deep. The two suspects, we all know. Because right now, they're starting to unleash their milk and honey. So-called
what do you mean by that? As you continue to mask what you're saying, right? And I appreciate you doing that. So you said Guys, will you please share the live so other people know that Curtis is on? Because Curtis, I hear you loud and clear. You say you're not just crying, no? You're putting out a call. You see how Jobia's mom put a cry out to heaven? As Kernisha'S dad, you're putting out a cry out far and wide, asking for your baby girl's case to be reopened and reinvestigated to every little corner.
All corner of the earth.
Yes, yes.
And I want to extend it. I mean, I want to break it down for everybody to hear and understand. If the authority, the investigating authorities here cannot handle it, I still crying out. Now I can say crying out to the world globe, because that go globally.
Yeah.
To send in, I will not say to help me, no? That's too much, it's too weak. To send in foreign investigators on that.
Mm-hmm.
I will be willing to help 100%.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That is the extent I wish to extend assistance.
Mm-hmm.
Because it cannot die like that.
Yes.
And I will say it now, the sacrifice of my daughter.
Yes.
The enemies or the criminal harvesting the fruits now. Everybody see? And I know they have their plan of excuse if that they come and they question in place on that leap of success, I would say.
So what I hear you saying, Curtis, is it appears that from what you're seeing, it appears that some of the people who have been, at least according to many Dominicans' minds, prime suspects, appear to be living in a way that suggests that a harvest has come.
Yeah, they are harvesting the Lord of my daughter. And the system, they know. The investigating authorities know. They see, everybody see.
I understand. Okay, so what do you think happened to your daughter?
I don't know. But what I can say clearly to what I've seen presently, I could say is that it have to be some blood sacrifice in two ways. Is either for rituals to have success in religious success. It is real. We will not believe it, but it is real. It exists. We want our church to be famous. We want it to bloom. We have to do some ritual, blood ritual. Or it could be for organ harvesting. Because it's happening, we happening every day with what we don't know. But it happens every day.
Yeah, so these are the two strongest feelings you have.
Yeah, the fruits bearing now.
Yeah.
It's not a joke.
Yeah.
You see, the crime that was faced, my daughter was faced, the atrocity, the pain. It was the crime that was a well-planned, orchestrated, I would say, crime. For years that it was in somebody's subconsciousness. And that individual operates like a real criminal, I would say. Because that was well calculated, eh?
Mm-hmm.
And another question is why they ordered to kill the madman, so-called madman?
Mm.
What the higher ranks know about it?
So you have big questions about why would the prime subject we were told at the time, what benefit was there to take his life? You're asking.
They should not take his life because that was the suspect. They said at the beginning that kidnapped my daughter, so try to catch him alive to see,
right,
where the daughter was.
Yeah.
But it was more than that. It was more than that. Now I've seen and everybody's seen it was more than that. It was to protect, it was to defend, it was to shield. No. They're back against the wall because it's like it's like it happening so randomly now. They have to do something about it.
What do you mean by that? You don't have to tell me, I know you're good at speaking, so clarify it a little bit more for me.
Okay. The straw that broke the camel back at the beginning when my daughter was kidnapped, I remember I say it like that. I tell them that it's just the beginning of it. Unless it will solve the problem of my daughter. More heavy and heavier and sensitive cases will arise on them. And it's happening and it more will come until the whole country, them did say the population will turn against them. So they have to do what they have to do now. It's not a joke. I seen it, I know what I'm talking about. So they have to stop protecting a so-called spiritual leader, a so-called spiritual leader dressing as kind of a spiritual clothes, but the heart of a criminal. Why are they defending that? Is it because if they open it, it might end up opening some other things the population will not want to? I don't want to talk more now.
I get you. I get you. We're following you. We're following you.
Something, I mean, come on. If it's true, man, something not balanced.
What you're saying is something is not adding up.
No, something not balanced, and I don't get. You see, I know, and I think that when I paused for 2 years, it was my pause.
So you took a break for 2 years away from any interviews, any talking, before you reached out to us. Yeah.
Yes, to reflect back on my life. And to see if it will really worth it to speak it out raw like already. Because I know we're living in the end of the movie in Dominica, the episode. Is a movie. The killer in the movie angry because the time coming. So I know people like me and other brave people that will talk out raw. Their life will be on the line.
For sure.
I know. I know what I'm talking about. I know the magnitude of problem the devil facing. I know what I'm talking about.
I think we're following you.
I watching the movie too. It's just a sad story and part of the movie.
Isn't that something? It's kind of surreal, right? It's kind of like you're watching it happen to somebody else, but you know it's you.
Yes.
Yes.
I am in that movie.
Yes.
In that corruption, in that Pharaoh kind of energy movie.
Right. You know something I know for sure, Curtis, I know for sure that if we are part of the movie, we have everything we need to be able to manage.
Well, my what I would say that is my weapon and whatever I have to manage is my tongue and my brain.
Yes.
That is what I have to use now to dig out that rat from the hole. Whoever I do that together at the end of the road. Because I'll tell you something, It's like the country, I feel like the country is like when you have a loose bowl,
Mm-hmm.
you're trying to hold that damn loose bowl.
I get it. I get it,
Anytime from
Curtis.
now, that thing going to blow, man. That thing
That's-
going to blow, man.
You cannot stop it.
Too much mess accumulating, too much nastiness, too much
I get it.
things just to gain material things, man. Too much.
I get it. I get
And
it.
all the atrocity that happening to us in that country, including me, it's just for materials.
Mm-hmm.
Just to gain stuff.
I get it.
Something going to happen.
So
A judgment has to pass, yeah.
you say a judgment has to pass. As you say that, I want to ask you, as you speak about, you say a judgment has to pass. When was the last time?
I'm not joking.
I get it. I'm with you. When was the last time the police contacted you directly with like a meaningful update?
Me, I go there by CID twice. They never really study me. They don't write down thing. Me, I don't come out from the gang. I'm not a member of the gang or my surname not heavy, you know. So people like me do have a say, in our own country.
So you mean you've not been assigned an investigator? If
Nothing, but I'm telling you.
I thought the minister said that the case was opened. So you mean nothing? You don't have a liaison. You don't have anybody you can call.
They don't know me. I doesn't weigh heavy in society. Little grams I weigh, I not heavy weight. I not no.
Did you ever get any details? Did you ever get any details of the search, of what they had done? Any summary?
Only thing I hear at the time, Minister of Security said the case closed at the time. Now I hear in the opening, so you don't know what kind of hanky-panky kind of.
So nobody told, so you learned it like us. So you learned it on the stage like us, like during the press conference like us.
Yeah.
You see the problem, Margaret?
Yeah. Nobody have nothing to say to ask me.
Margaret, does he have any other kids? Does he
Do you have
much
any other kids? Marcelline wants to know if you have any other kids, Curtis.
No, I don't have no more.
He's one and only.
Yeah.
What questions, Curtis, do you have that are still unanswered? Do you have any unanswered questions? Like say about the original search, what troubles you the most about that original search in 2022? What do you think needs to still be investigated?
Okay. Number one, the pit toilet have to be dug with backhoe.
Dig up the pit toilet with a backhoe. Okay.
Whatever they have to dig that with.
Right.
Please.
Right.
They have to find what they have to find.
Right.
The two other shed lower down where the pig die in, they have to go and dig that up too. Because all there is to think the police, they never dig nothing, they never search for nothing. Something, I mean, let us be real, okay. In another country, okay, let us say in another country, something like that happened. You don't think they would have dig the toilet and everything there?
Yep.
Search it deeper than that.
Yep.
You don't believe that?
Yep, for sure.
Something not balanced in that system of Dominica. Something wrong. Because if the system don't want to uncover it, that means something high. If they want to hide something and something might uncover something higher up. Something not right in that place, in that country. And I seen it for what it is. Oil cannot stay in water, it would not mix, it cannot mix. Something not right, because if I'm a thief in society, in jacket and tie, I thief it. And I am a magistrate and I know I thief it. And I have to go and think and drop somebody that thief. That is a problem,
Papa mate.
We have a problem there. That is a problem because it might uncover other things.
So okay,
Other things might uncover. It's so neat.
can you hear that, Marcelline?
Yes, it is. Yes. You know.
So Curtis, you're saying Curtis just used the metaphor. He says, if you are a judge, and you're a thief, but you dress up in jacket and tie, it's kind of hard for you to investigate another thief, yeah, because maybe somewhere along the lines, you and that thief, your paths might have crossed, and maybe investigating that thief, that thread that connects you, right? You laughing? Are reading you right, Curtis? Might lead to you, and so because you're the judge with all of you just leave that alone. Maybe is what Curtis is suggesting. Maybe, possibly, right?
Yeah, but Margaret, one of the things I heard Mr. Blackmore said that was troubling to me was when he said that he knows the pastor. They went to school together. They played cricket together, and so is that the reason why you did not you see the investigation was botched like that? So you know the pastor, but if the pastor is a pedophile, is he going to tell you, hey, I like little girls, I like molesting little girls? Because remember, he's a pastor. Is he going to say that? He's not going to say that. Look, the other day, who they arrested and is serving a jail sentence in St. Thomas? A pastor for raping a little girl. So we have to take our heads from that box and because we feel that this person has a position in society that they are all good and they can do no wrong. We have to remove ourselves from those situations.
Exactly.
That is a lame and shallow judgment. That you're saying that you know the person since you were boys at school, so you know his taste and his tendencies. He's what the hell are you saying? What are you saying?
Are you saying that it almost sounded like kind of like like a recommendation, like I almost like I've known that person, and
vouching for him, and when they said as to whether the case would be they would start a new investigation into the case. He said if new evidence comes up, but I see the reasons why they would not be quite so ready to do a new investigations, because it's a lot that is going to come out into themselves. Because remember,
Curtis, what you say?
Okay.
On the other note,
when that preacher man was taken to the hospital on account of madman cut his head. You with me?
I'm with you. When he went to the hospital.
Right. I want the investigate because I will help them if they cannot do it. I want the investigating authorities to go back to that doctor or that time and question that doctor on the kind of cut. If it's a slash cut or a slice cut.
And why would you want that?
I would want that because if it's a well orchestrated crime, well premeditated, orchestrated for you, because I know it's feeling like that. And courts have to take place in that too. Because I want the money. I want to get rich. Nothing wrong in trimming it up and taking a razor blade and cut your head,
So you're talking about self-inflicted wounds opposed to a madman cutting.
Yeah, it's a people when they cut, they stitch in their own home.
I understand. I work in a prison with hardcore. I understand.
You understand me?
I understand 100%.
So that is where I want to start it. There I want to begin that investigation. Because if it's a madman, because a madman have extra energy. I mean, your skull would have split or crack. Something would have gone on. Your brain would not be normal anymore if you do that. Because madman have extra strength and energy.
So these are unanswered questions, big unanswered questions. You would love.
have to go and say and go back to the doctor check that man and see if he's a slice cut or a slash cut, which I know is not a slash cut because he would not be there today alive.
But I'm wondering if they had all of that as part of the evidence, if they collected such evidence, because I don't understand how if Margaret, you know what I don't get? The Mr. Blackmore said that the suspect, he kept referring to Kian Alexander as the suspect. But how did you arrive at the suspect as the suspect?
Right,
because
right.
the evidence that you have is hearsay.
Right.
The person who was in charge of that little girl, where she was placed in the care of, is the pastor and his wife. That was where the welfare persons put the little girl. So they were totally in charge of her. Based on the account that the lady gave, the wife gave, he went home with the child. He said the child went to her bed. He was the last person to see the child.
And we just had a recent very terrible event happen. And when investigators started piecing the last known person with the victim, more often than not.
And he's the last person to see the child alive. He said that the grandfather, the lady's father, lived with them, but they said the man is blind, so he could not have seen her. He could not have seen her because he said he's clinically blind. So he was the last person who saw the child. The pastor recanted a story. He gave a story that, this is what happened. He got cut, the key and take the child. That is the pastor's word. That is the pastor's word. There was no evidence. There was no eyewitness to say that, yes, I saw Kian Alexander took off with Kernisha. So how is it you, the security minister, you're referring to the man as the only suspect? How on earth did you come up with that? How did you come up with that when there were no eyewitnesses? You are listening to a story. What the man, the person who is in charge of the little girl said to you, but there was no eyewitness. So how I don't get it. It's like there's some pieces missing, and I'm wondering if that investigation was properly done. Were the wounds self-inflicted wounds, or were there any defense wounds? Because how I don't understand a lot of things in that.
So Curtis, that's why you're saying you're hoping that everybody, it sounds like you're asking for help, right? You're asking for your voice to be amplified, to get stronger, like a big mic.
Absolutely. Yes.
You say the Lord doesn't what now?
The Lord come and check me to say, okay, let us see, concerned citizens in the country too. Pick up investigation. And if somebody tell you, look, this building, how much SUV, how much transport on the road under different people name, people driving up and down. How come so much a leap of, where you accumulate the resources? Investigate.
So okay, so without saying much, what you're saying is you're just seeing so many fresh, brand new resources showing up. And it doesn't seem as if, it would seem as if a proper investigation or investigative team might use things like that as as a little hit to say, okay, let me pursue that.
Something to start on, somewhere to start. You could start there. You could start there, and you could start there and start to work all your way in the investigation easy. Easy like that. I mean, it's not through school or you go to get all the training. Come on, man.
Right. So is that
Do
why
the thing
then?
and give all the energy. If all you really want that to happen, I know, I doesn't we have in society. You know, maybe we thought somebody else, big man, daughter that go missing long time, they would have capture with the capture.
Mm.
But
Margaret, can you ask me if you have a lawyer?
Curtis, Marcelline wants to know if you've got an attorney.
No, because me and Lofty go and down, and me and Lofty we go to a lawyer too, and they tell us there's nothing they can do because they don't have no proof, no. They say there are no evidence or proof to start nowhere to start the case.
Well,
So even from there, you got blocked.
You see,
Yeah.
that's, when you look at those lawyers in Dominica too, I'm not afraid to say half of them are criminals, themselves, because I don't even understand what's going on with these people.
The whole system does rotten, man. It is like everybody is a crook. People in jacket and tie that's supposed to be protecting and serving. They also is murderer. I don't understand.
Yeah, Margaret, but Margaret, I want to ask a question. When Kernisha was not legally adopted,
No.
this man, Mr. Ettienne, what's his name?
Curtis, Ettienne,
Curtis,
yes.
Curtis is the only living
The legal,
parent.
right, the legal
Living
parent.
parent. So he ought to have, some legal rights, but his daughter winds up disappearing, possibly dead. How is it that you all just X'd him out of the investigation, never followed up with him, never spoke to him? But what is going on? I don't understand why. This is the child's biological parent. If the child was never legally adopted, then he still has rights. So how do you not communicate, How do you not communicate with him? You excommunicate him. Then what?
What were you going to say, Curtis?
I'll tell you something, eh? And it's true, we're not alone it happened to. Anytime you talk loud about the atrocity that happening on your land, the devil trying to break your wings, And it's not a joke,
It's not a joke. He comes hard and fierce.
Oh, my.
Yep.
Because you know why? Enough people aren't talking.
That's right. So more people, which is why I'm very proud of you for continuing to keep the fire burning, is what we used to say, right, online. Keep the fire burning for Kernisha. I remember who made a group. Was it Dorothy, David? Created a Keep the Fire Burning for Kernisha. Somebody else online who does this, I think, is Marley Austri, who is almost every week. He's got something that he posts about Kernisha and several other people. Lenine.
Don't forget
Lenine.
Yes,
holding Kernisha.
Very passionate about Kernisha's disappearance. And I admire every one of them. I just want to encourage each and every one of them to continue because wrong in Dominica and what we are faced with right now, women should be rising in the numbers to go and speak up.
I don't know
go with your placard. Why is everybody asleep until it happens to their child? And then we come crying again?
What I realized too,
What?
Especially with the youth, the devil now using a certain level of distraction in the youth.
Yes.
They're using what they love as a whip on their back, but the youths will not see it.
Yes.
In time of when they know, the youths will get alert.
Right.
In time of when they know, it's spreading, the little secret spreading too much.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
I watching the movie well, you know.
We on the same episode, Curtis.
Margaret, one of the things I'm here thinking, one of the things that needs to be done too is, within the school systems, they need to assign a team of nurses, to visit the schools regularly, probably on a monthly basis, and have one-on-one with the children, where they can question the children about whether anybody is touching them at home, whether
Yeah.
anybody is abusing them. Has anyone touched your private parts? Talk to the children, because I think they would uncover a lot of things from the children. Because if a child is hurting, the child is not just going to buckle up. But if
For
someone asks the
sure.
child a question, then the child is, going to open up and speak up. But we cannot have a situation where our children are being abused. So those very children who are abused at home and elsewhere, they go to school.
For
So if
sure.
you provide that health person,
Safe
I remember
space, a
back.
safe space.
Yes, I remember
Yeah.
back in the day when a nurse would come and they would examine the children, and they would see, they would examine the children, and they would give you a comprehensive list of the things. They check their ears, their nose, their
Hmm.
eyes. Then they would,
Hmm. Do a
they would
a
they
physical
would check
exam.
to see if their hymen was intact and stuff like
Yeah.
that. That is the things that the nurses should be doing, and they should bring that
Yeah.
back in the school system, because
Yeah,
our
it's
girls and
happened
boys
before.
are being
What did
abused.
you say, Curtis? You say it used to what?
That was happening in schools before.
Hmm.
And
But they
Yes.
need
there
to bring it
was,
back, because I remember that happening in schools. They need to bring it back, because our
you
children
see,
need a way to vent, to speak to somebody to speak to. They will no doubt, a lot of them will not speak to the parents at home, but they'll speak to the nurse if the nurse asks them.
Well, one of the things I
yeah,
would say to that one is, I know, again, our people, we were just talking about how our people can be kind of callous sometimes,
yeah,
and we are disrespectful sometimes of other people. So I would hope, that I think that's a good idea, but I part of my training is flashing and saying, still you have to have really properly trained people to do that, because some of our people have become quite unkind, and
yes,
you don't want them to have access to our children like that in a way where they've not learned to really practice confidentiality. Some of them can go on and like we heard, even a very important in society person who passed away, people were talking about her private business, who were
yeah,
professionals. So that's a powerful thing. I would just hope that it would be added with additional training that is sensitive to these children's personal bodies, their rights, and for this stuff to be done in a really confidential way, because I think our people have become a lot more callous. Again, we do this thing, but it's not my child, and oh, I noticed
yeah,
this.
yeah,
What
yeah.
happening? Oh, so
For
and so.
sure.
This is what's happening about them. Da, 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 da.
Okay,
So
okay,
that is a
all right.
good programming. I think about it, but it would have to come with a lot of proper sensitivity training and confidentiality
Brother
training, and
Perry.
understanding how to manage people's
I'm
private
going to,
information.
yeah, I'm going to say something.
Yes.
What you're trying to say now is, and I'm going to put it down in layman's terms,
Mm-hmm.
corruption
Corruption.
is a cancer.
Yes.
And you say something about the guy, it does my child, no, so I don't, okay. It do, I mean, if you don't check the bubble in time, the cancer will spread all around the body.
It spreads.
So my thing come.
Yeah.
Is, oh, the other one might say, not my daughter, no,
Right.
my son. So I don't worry, I whatever. Okay. So that means you're being ignorant to the cancer that's
Yeah.
affecting you, because you is part of the body too.
Exactly. That's what we have to come back to seeing.
Okay.
Exactly.
So we're waiting until the cancer spread everywhere. And all of us die.
Right. So as long as the cancer, so if I'm the foot, as long as the cancer spread to my ears, okay, it's ear cancer I have, not realizing I going and die too, even if I am the toe. Yeah.
But remember earlier in the program, Margaret, I said, my mother used to say, what do ears, do eyes, do nose?
That's
But
right.
that is what it is. That's what
right.
it is.
That's
And
right. That's right.
when you come in to think of it, Margaret, the first and foremost protection or vigilance that's we can, express or, put forward is we, the parents, taking full protection of our children
Of our
before
children.
before that, before that shit hits the fan, before that thing
Yes.
happens.
Yeah.
Because prevention is always better than cure. By the time
Yes.
people come in and they give a report, the child don't spoil already, The child
Yeah.
already gone through the trauma. Yes, it's true. We'll put
Yeah.
laws in place, and laws will, laws will things will happen. This is that, But that is the cure. But what about the
Yeah.
prevention? Prevention
Yeah.
is better than cure. So what we need to do is to pay more attention to our children, for God's sake. If
From
we
the
know that
beginning.
there's a pedophile in an office, do not take your young daughter and send your daughter to the office to negotiate a scholarship with a pedophile. Please do
Right.
not do
You
that.
know, you know,
You, the parent, should go and negotiate your daughter's scholarship, because all those things are trauma. Life in itself is traumatic because life is always life in. We have to do better to preserve our
It
children.
does. So
Do not
as you say that,
it.
Marcelline, I want to ask Curtis about the welfare system, right?
yeah,
Because Kanisha,
yeah,
at the time of her disappearance, was under the supervision clinically of the welfare department, right?
yeah.
Um, do you think, I remember from 2022, you had some concerns you raised with welfare. Can you remind us of some of that? Like,
Yeah, yeah. Well, the concern I raised from the top, my daughter was staying, the mother didn't die. And so you see right where I start to fight the fight. The mother didn't die. She had done, and her auntie had done, lie on me and say I touched my daughter at 3 months. So problem on top problem. That
so
was
you
not
had
true.
parental alienation. You're saying that when she was a 3-month-old baby, her mother
Yeah,
and her mother's mother reported to welfare that you had touched your child
yeah.
inappropriately at 3 months old.
Yeah, my daughter mother auntie.
Her
So
auntie, okay.
right there, the child, my daughter stayed in that house, a kind of house, while the mother was on her way, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, tried to go to welfare. When my mother start to go, they never come and check the place. It take me 2 years going up and down, missing maybe every month. Never. So when I feel for sure I can't leave my child in that, rat pass, kind of thing. The floor of the house is on mother, I say, no man, that good. So that is how when I didn't get no assistant, I end up asking now the fisherman's wife, because she didn't know the fisherman at the time. She was stuck farm.
Right.
Baby. Yeah, so it's after whatever happened, stuck farm, she started to go up Good Hope. And from Good Hope, she connected with her husband, and that's where it started.
Mm-hmm.
I still continue, when my mother continue going there, up and down, going. Until my sister was going to take her for me, but my sister ended up getting sick because she had liver failure or so on. So
Okay. Because remembering all of that time, welfare perhaps had you as if like a parent where she could not be with you unsupervised because of the original 3-month-old claim.
Right.
Okay.
So it's after all that the thing happened, the welfare called me, and I was in a very emotional and angry.
Mm-hmm.
So I tell the officer how it is. That was Officer Wallace.
Mm-hmm.
I told it to him how it is. I say, no, the movie end, you're calling me.
Mm.
How you help? How you help me, man?
Mm-hmm.
So I even telling you was part of the agenda too, man.
Mm.
I was very emotional at the time.
Mm-hmm.
but
And here come, huh?
People should be suing these people, those institutions, because
Marcelline just upset. She's just saying that people, as you know, us, the citizens, we should be suing some of these institutions.
Okay. It's true, but as I tell you earlier on, if the top of the thing not good, the brain not damaged, the hard drive damage, I mean, virus is going to take all over the thing, the system. I mean, we have to face the reality, and the reality, we all know what we have to do for us to be free from what we're passing on that plate.
Right.
Because my share come, I take my blow.
Right.
Who next? Now, what if after my daughter take their own? Who next?
Right. Right.
Why we just open our spiritual eyes to see? Why we still respecting all jacket and tie because they tell us to respect the jacket and tie? Why?
Right. Well, what do you want, Curtis? 4 years later, what do you want from the police and the government and the jackets and ties now? What do you want?
I want them to reinterrogate the preacher man and his wife seriously.
Yeah.
And I want them to find that doctor that deals with the preacher man when he see cut on his head flying madman if he got last. We want to know, not me alone, the whole country want to know if it's a slice or a slash.
Right. Like what kind of cut?
Yeah, so the investigators can take it from there to see, okay, what really happened.
Right. Because what you know from watching enough movies is that there is a difference between cuts. There is a difference between the kind of cuts and who might have administered the cuts, and if it was a self-administered or if it was other administered. These things are.
When they start from there,
yes.
When they start from there, they will know if it was an orchestrated thing to put the slippers there. Somebody may put the slippers there or the clothes. Somebody put it down there to paint a picture that the kind of tragedy that happened. And the madman was running with my daughter, and the clothes fall down and the shoes fall down.
Yes.
Anybody can see that was a well orchestrated crime.
No, but okay, they found the slippers. Were there any fingerprints? Did they do fingerprinting? What was done? Were the FBI ever in Dominica to investigate that case? Curtis, do you know if the FBI was in Dominica during that time?
I don't know. Only thing I know now, nothing will happen. The slippers same place, I understand it.
The slippers is still there?
That's what I understand.
So it was never picked up as evidence?
They never picked up the slippers and put it in a plastic bag and seal it off as evidence?
Nothing like that to happen. Somebody tell me the slippers even from dry out there,
Anyway, Mr. Blackmore, you all should be ashamed of all yourself, eh? You're not looking for a victim. You all, it's hard to.
But Dominican say on the ground investigating even better. So why they doesn't come and on the ground and ask questions? Go in one village, undercover agents, go and ask a few questions on that technically, get some stuff points on that and start something. The writing is on the wall. Right now they enjoy the fruit.
Honestly, they never wanted to find the child in the first place because, if you found a slipper and a teddy bear, there should be evidence. That should be, sealed, handled properly as evidence and in a sealed bag. And they're looking for fingerprints and, hair tissues, stuff like that.
I'm going to tell you something, eh? I'm going to tell you something. You see in a country where the justice system failing or fail, a lot of unsolved cases, especially sensitive crime criminal cases, will always be unsolved. And when they also, the victim that's suffering, that want justice, and especially with the victim is on a large scale.
Right.
That country is on a ticking time bomb. For any disaster to happen, it's not going to be a natural disaster. Uprising of a people, chaos and mayhem will happen in that place, in that country, if they don't start to deal with this kind of things and put them things to rest, let people's minds go at peace, at rest.
You know,
closure to them things,
that's
Papa.
right. That's right. You know, Curtis, the other day I put up one of my cousins, you know, we were talking about missing people. She said, can you please put up a picture of my, I think it's her brother, who has been missing since 2023. And the number of Dominicans who also chimed in and said that they have a missing relative, I have been blown away, because honestly, I did not know that. And it was only a list of men. And people have been reaching out and saying, but they are women too. And what you're describing is a kind of ambiguous sense of loss, because there's been no closure. You don't know whether you're coming or whether you're going on the loss. It's very painful. So what has this been like for you, Curtis, on that level?
Let me tell you, the thoughts are in my head. If you see, I was a rich man, I would seek my own justice already. But the kind of plan I have in my head, I don't want to speak. Leave that alone. Just leave that alone then. Just leave that alone. Because I don't want to think negative. I really don't want to think negative. I want to think positive all along the way. Even if my emotions sometimes don't make me think things. Which that can be possible. Which I don't want it to be possible. I rather go in the right way for now. I watching what's going on. For now. I begging out again and I pleading out again. For now. I know why I'm using for now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm not going to carry that weight of loss in my life forever. That's why I don't want to talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Only thing I say, you know, when people talk to me watching the movie, just sad I'm part of the movie. I don't know if me that's going to be the starring in it.
I know. You're a wise man, you know, Curtis.
Very.
You're a wise man. Yeah, 100%. Because
I don't
yeah.
talk to people.
Yeah.
I don't talk to everybody, my friend.
Yeah.
The rest of all, I don't talk to everybody.
Yeah.
And the trumpet I sung in now, the alarm I sung in from my trumpet.
Yeah.
Is
You're a wise
telling
man.
everybody, because I have a lot of people that don't really come around me, come to speak to them.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I'm telling them, do not respect jacket and tie in a corrupted country.
Mm-hmm.
Don't make that mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Because you will never see them for what they truly are. And I think I leave that little proverb with you. I create, and it's true. Before I go, the truth is like a stubborn seed. No matter how deep you plant it, or you dig the hole to put it, it will find a way up.
Mm-hmm.
That is for all the criminals in Dominica, neither jacket and tie and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That is a warning.
Mm-hmm.
I will not come and avenge them physically,
Mm-hmm.
but the spirit of my ancestors
Mm-hmm.
will fight for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you something. Karma is not no beach. Karma is what you give it give you back.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, sometimes we believe we in fantasy and we in milk and honey.
Mm-hmm.
But how we get there?
Mm-hmm.
What we don't know. Not after you die. Tell them, I Curtis Ettienne say. anytime somebody do wickedness, they doesn't face it after they die. That is lie.
Mm-hmm.
They will face it the same way before they go in flesh. So that is what I have to say.
Yeah.
And I calling out, I wailing out for outside help. I
Yes.
calling out for inside help. Not me alone, because I know it in the hearts of a lot of people in my country
Mm-hmm.
and in the outside world
Mm-hmm.
that looking forward for closure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Minister of Security, start moving like a real commando and not like a little hanky-panky, like a Sophie. Move and talk more militant than that, like you care for your nation. Stop crying, my brother, and be militant and have a strong militant heart and spirit. Now is not time to laugh or pretend, because it's spreading. And who doesn't see it spreading? What will happen until we don't put justice where justice has to be? Please. As I tell all you earlier on, let me watch. And if it happened that way, I can clearly see we're in trouble. The system that's supposed to protect us right now, they compromise.
Mm-hmm.
I feel in the energies.
Mm-hmm.
I feel in the energies because in Dominica, they are raised.
Mm-hmm.
The system that's supposed to protect us,
Mm-hmm.
they are compromised as we speak.
Fully compromised.
Nothing else. They cannot handle nothing than to protect their own selves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry for us. Because what are coming down, the weight of the hammer, or I will not even call it the hammer, the weight of the sledge that coming on us.
Karmic retribution.
Ralph Gonsalves, he said the hammer will come down.
Mm-hmm.
He nothing coming down and the hammer coming down hard.
It's called karma. It's called karma, and these days karma isn't waiting very long. It's not waiting very long.
Unless we do stand up for what is real,
Mm-hmm. We will pay.
for what that will protect the next generation.
Mm-hmm.
Our ancestors will punish us.
For sure. Curtis,
I don't say more, so
I appreciate you. You and I were on the same page. I just want to tell you thank you.
Yeah.
For
No problem.
sharing your words, your emotions with us. I want to point something out to you before you go.
Yeah.
You've done what a healer would do, which is you've accepted all of your pain, but you have not allowed it to hurt you double. So you have used you've used the energy of your pain to clarify your thinking, to get sharp, to go inside. Yes, sir.
Before you all you go to advertise medical company,
Of course.
I have my company, my handyman company. We do in electrical solution, plumbing solution, and advertise on your platform.
Advertise it. Listen to me. This is part of you. It's called transmutation. You transmuting the energy of pain.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
Yes, Curtis.
So we're doing grass cutting and power washing.
Yes,
and,
yes.
I on my way to open my little business by my home. My dad left for me.
Yes.
And I am on my way to open a bakery, but it's a very vintage one.
Yes.
Vintage. The one that on stone, on wood.
Right.
Yes.
So how can people connect with you if they want handyman services?
My number is on my contact number I have 315
767.
767 315 1627.
All right. Curtis,
Margaret, I think you should read him the encouragement messages on the light.
Yes, I'm typing it in the chat.
Yeah.
And they can call to you. Yes, you have a lot of encouragement on the live. Marcelline, you want to read some?
But he's not going to hear me, Margaret.
Marcelline is going to read you some.
You think he's going
What
to
you
hear?
say?
Will he hear me?
You're going to hear it. Yes, he hear you.
Okay, let me see where we
Mary
go.
says, sending strength, love alone. Mary Benjamin.
Thank you, Mary.
Nicole. Marcelline, what's Nicole saying?
Okay, I'm not at the part of Nicole yet, but there is
Okay.
Teresa Susan Roll who said it always bothers me how the mother and daughter went missing and never found.
Yes.
So that's from Susan Rolls. Yatunde Williams said Kernisha'S life should never be in vain.
Yes.
And
She says, so we really need to do this as a collective unity around the memory of Kernisha.
Yes.
And she also says again, respectfully, there has to be a lot of training around these issues. So the issues about, going to the schools and checking on the kids and stuff like that. And that's what she was talking about.
Nicole says the dad is clear with his delivery. Be strong, Dad.
Yes.
Be strong. Yes. But Curtis, I wanted to tell you something. Curtis, I really want you to, I want to, like people say, I want to drop this in your spirit, Curtis, tonight.
Yes.
You have done the work as a healer, because what you have done is you have changed. You've turned what could have been for very bad. You could be just strung out. The pain and the grief from this ambiguous loss could have been riding you. Instead, what you're doing is you're transforming it on purpose. Yeah. You who could be your heart wide open bleeding, you're taking that energy, you're transforming it into forming businesses, making money, creating a better life for yourself. And you are not letting your daughter go. You are pushing, you are asking for help, you're asking for support.
I see why I do it all that because I will believe one day she'll come back and
look at that.
Everything will be okay.
And that's what we do. You see, that's what we're saying.
Margaret,
I just been everything in energy, and some people that tell me, boy, you're a special man, you're a strong man.
You are, you're a healer.
I tell them, no, man, I know what to do.
You're a healer. You're feeling your pain. We don't run from pain, and we don't just blah. We do things with it. That's it.
I ain't backing down. I don't back down.
Yes, we channel it. That's what we do, so that they don't win over us twice. They don't get to take our daughter, and we still break, and we can't survive in life. No, that's not what we do.
We always breaking through.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So thank you, Curtis. Thank you very much. We appreciate you.
And the rest of the crew, good night. Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much. And be strong, Curtis. Be strong.
Yes, my action speaks that I'm a very strong young man.
Yes.
We will do it in the collective unity in the memory of Kernisha.
Well, you have our support.
I believe speaking the truth is that giving me more strength to go, and the truth is my weapon.
That's it. The truth is the weapon. Yes, sir. All right, Curtis. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Yes, sir.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Yes,
Take
sir.
care. Nice having you. Wow, Margaret. This is something else. To have one daughter and your daughter disappeared in thin air, and nothing, not even a call from the officers from time to time, nothing to say, well, okay, this is your kid. To me, they don't treat him like this was his child. And yes, it's true, she lived with a family, but they did not adopt her legally. I don't understand the system in Dominica, though.
She is his legal child.
Yes, it is not taken away.
She's his legal child. She has every right.
He's the parent. He's the only biological parent. I don't understand how these people can get it so wrong. But I guess they don't sue anybody in Dominica. So
It does it seem almost as if they're hoping that it fades away and people forget or give up on it? Because we would have hoped that they would have felt how lost many Dominicans felt, about Kenesha, that they would
yeah,
have tried, like they would have kept trying. I think for me, I feel disappointed in that. I really expected them to have tried again with new resources, I'm so happy that baby girl's family, has been able, Jabia, she's been able to, at
yeah,
least the family, been able to come to some kind
but
of closure for this
yeah,
horrendous thing.
yes. I mean, it's not the kind of closure anybody was anticipating,
Nobody
but at the end
wants
of
it.
the day,
But
they're
it's,
not
it's
going.
even worse when you have that your heart wide open.
The mind
You
is
don't
not just
know.
reeling and wondering. And look, I'm just reading a recent update here. 2 hours ago, Dominica Breaking News posted a recent update on the Jabaya Paul matter.
Yes.
21-year-old, what's that name? Nayoka? 21-year-old Nayoka James of Marigot has been charged with perverting the course of justice. Another
Yes.
police officer has also been arrested in connection with Jabaya Paul. Oh my
Yep.
goodness. You mean a third
Yep.
police officer?
A third police officer
Oh
as
my
of this
God.
afternoon. Yes. Yep.
My goodness.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
My goodness. So what is going on in Dominica? You see, now we have to enforce, we have to stand up in the numbers and say that you all need to change this darn law. And you see, this is the force is imploding. This has never happened before.
The force and our young people. The force and our young people are imploding because this young lady,
Oh,
Nayoka, is not in the force. It remains
it's
to
a
be seen
21
what
years.
all of this is about.
But when I said the force, Nayoka was not trained in law enforcement. She was not trained to. She's a civilian. This force is our security.
It's supposed to
So
be,
it's a whole different. It's a whole difference between her and them.
and them. It's
They
like
should
Curtis
be
is
the one
saying.
arresting her and not
It's
being
like Curtis
arrested
is
as
saying.
part of the same crime.
What Curtis is saying, what he just said, is that even them have been corrupted.
My
The
goodness.
force has been corrupted.
Well. I hope they bring the FBI. They let the FBI investigate the police force, because that is a force that really needs investigating, and that's
Well,
what
that's
happened.
something to ask all of you on the live. Do you think the police can investigate themselves? Do you think they ought to
Of
investigate
course not.
themselves?
Criminals can't investigate criminals.
Look today we're arguing whether or not ambassadors can serve as people's personal campaign managers, things like that. We cross the lines all the time. We look for loopholes. We look for reasons to race
Margaret,
to the bottom,
look at if it
as
rots
opposed
from
to
the top.
going the extra mile for best practices. It seems as if we're fine digging at the bottom of the barrel. We don't care how
The
other
fish rots
people
from the top,
see
from the head.
us. Yeah. We don't
The
care
fish
how other people see
rots
us.
from the head. It rots from the head. And that's what we have, is a rotten fish. A rotten fish.
Well, I like Curtis's analogy. He says it's like when you have a malvat and you've been holding in it for a long time, and there's going to come a point where you can't. It's just going to start spraying everywhere. It appears that we are at that point, perhaps, or almost there. Look,
You
to
know,
get over.
when the FBI came to investigate this, or I don't know if they're still in Dominica. I wonder if they asked the police if this is the only missing case, the only missing child. I wonder if they asked them, and what did they say? I wonder if they told them about Kenesha,
Well,
that
according to what the people have been saying, there are several. I mean, somebody told me Wesley has 12 missing people. Wesley alone has 12 missing people. Where did they go?
that
Where
seems to
are
be
they?
that seems to be the epicenter
That's
of
the
missing.
epicenter. That's the hub. That's the
That's
epicenter
the
of the missing
epicenter.
persons in
Because I
Dominica.
will never forget, that little girl that was murdered in the summer of 1994. That little girl, Natia Joseph, who was raped and murdered and thrown like a rag doll in the gutter, right in the middle of the village. She was only 9 years old. Her killer was never found. Never
Did we try
found.
hard enough? Did we
I don't
try
know
hard
what
enough?
they did, because they, 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 they scoped out the area all night. They were looking in the bushes and looking and looking. And I don't know if the police were looking in anybody's house. I don't know if they were looking in the homes. But the same area that they had trampled on over and over, from the time the little girl did not show up with her little jerry can of water,
Right.
until late into the wee hours of the morning, they went in to take a little rest, because they had been searching all night with flashlights and dogs and everything. Nothing. When they came back in the morning, early in the morning, about 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, as day was breaking, the same place they had trampled, that little girl's body was thrown there, split from stand to bow.
Oh my God.
9 years old. 9 years old. I don't know.
And to think that we are safe because people forgot about it. It's really
In
insane.
1994, I have
Really
never
insane.
heard the police brought that up in any press conference, like they forgot about it. A force like that in Dominica, like what we have, the commerce we have in Dominica. Do we see them ready for anything? That's why we have to be vigilant, and we have to protect our children,
Our
because
own
we
selves
have
and our
a force that
kids.
cannot protect us. We have to do more. Look at they have now turned the criminals. They have turned into the criminals. So now when a crime is committed, we cannot look over there at the Joe Blow on the street. We have to say, I wonder if it's that same cop
The
that was
very
doing
top.
that all the time.
So listen to some of the names that people just unprovoked just started saying after my cousin Francilia asked for people to keep her brother Arlene Lamoth. We used to call him khaki, like khaki pants, on our brains. Maisley Williams, Johnson Seaman, Davy Rodney, Jaquan Bruno, Eustace Bellett, Julian Johnfin, Tiger from Jimmet, Teacock from Penville, Joseph Mr. Cool Ferrell from Bourne, Trevi Felix, Ruben Lewis, Huron Vidal, McDonald Graham, Reggie George, Delphine Peter, Jadel John Lewis, Leonard Charles from Coolibistry, Jacob Jerrison Benjamin from Monrachet, Chris Blanc, his body was found, Calibishi, 2 missing, Wesley 12. This is Dominica.
Oh my God. So
And
where
it's
is
just
that
a
police
men's list. It's
profile?
mostly a men's list.
Where is that police profile? So why aren't they talking about that in the press conference? They just come there jamming up some colloquial bullshit jargon, telling people
This is
nonsense.
just men. And this is just mostly
My
men.
goodness. This is frightening. So where did they go? Look, the other day, a man went missing from the apartments, the government apartments in
Yeah.
Castle Roots. He went missing, and for weeks they searched and searched, looking for that dementia man who was visually blind, who was a stroke victim, who could barely walk. They looked and looked and looked for that man, and they searched and searched some more, only to find him miles off in some bushes. They found
A
him
blind person.
decomposed,
person.
decomposed just like Kernisha, with his slippers and his cane next to him. How would that man, who could barely walk, and whom they said that electricity went during the night, and they did not, the next morning they came, he disappeared under the cover of electricity, gone.
Darkness. Right.
Under the cover of darkness. How could he have found himself all the way there? A man who could barely walk. Huh? and the whole community knows that man. So you
So
want to
little again, they would not have found him. He would have just been one of these others too. No closure, just missing. You just
they
know.
just found his
Yeah.
skeleton fully decomposed, and his slippers lined up side by side to his body and his
And the
skin.
question must be asked: any
So he was
missing body
arrested.
parts decomposed, but any missing body parts? The question must be asked in 2026.
So he was placed.
Decomposed, yeah, decomposed, but any missing body parts? Question that must be asked in 2026.
So what is going on? How did he get there? How did he get there? That is the big question. How did he get there? And now the police are involved in murdering people and throwing them
Imagine.
over cliffs.
And doing it in a way of really like in a conspiracy, because it's not even like in one person doing it. In a conspiracy, we have several people involved in this thing. So what is really happening in Dominica, and can we trust the police to investigate it given the track record,
My God.
given
So
their own involvement?
how would it take 3 police officers, a ring of people, to murder this little girl and
A
to
little
throw
child.
her over a cliff? Is that a crime of passion? Does it appear to be a crime of passion? Or was she silenced?
We
What did
have
she
to ask
do?
these questions because we don't know if our police are asking it, because they're the ones doing these things.
What did she hear? What did she see? What did she know? Was she silenced?
What else is happening?
And what is happening? You see, but when you allow corruption to thrive in a country, that is what you get. Because every corrupt leader has his corrupt security.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a vampire. As long as you get into that ring, you get
Yep.
bitten by the
Get
vampire.
bit.
You
Yeah.
get to become one of us. So it's criminals protecting criminals.
Yep.
So everybody's fighting to keep themselves alive.
Exactly.
Everybody.
Keep
If
themselves
you go down,
connected and doing well. Right.
yeah, and I could just hear them. If he go down, we go down.
Yes.
If they go down,
Yes.
he goes down. So it's
Yeah.
criminals protecting criminals.
Here's
That is
another
what we
piece.
have
There's
now.
another
Everybody's
aspect.
breaking the law.
There's another aspect to consider in the world of certain organizations and structures that you have that are called initiations, okay? Or being jumped in, or things people have to do to become members of certain groups and organizations. I don't know that I believe our police have the skill set, or either that it would be appropriate for them to investigate themselves. Nowhere is that going to be okay. That would be the most nonsensical thing, because we are human beings and our subjective relationships and connections going to muddy the waters. You need outside independent investigators to take care of something like that. No other explanation makes sense. None can be trusted. It makes no sense. None. It would not
And
be a professional investigation to say I'm going to investigate myself. That does not make sense anywhere.
it has gotten so bad within the force that I understood that there was someone that the police, who was recruited for the job in Dominica, had became a police officer, and after he became that officer, after the fact, they found out that the man had taken jail. The man was a criminal, had taken jail for something he had done. But it's quite obvious they had to let him go. But he got the training and was in the police officer's uniform before they found that out. So how you said that you were doing research of the person is not my
Right. Background check,
you're
background
doing background
investigation.
check,
Yeah.
you're doing lie detector tests,
Mm.
polygraphing. What they're polygraphing with? What are they polygraphing with? A microscope? Did you do this? What are they?
Yes.
What are they polygraphing in their glasses? You,
We must do better. Like
what is the polygraph test
we've been
doing?
saying let's do better, but like you said in the beginning, it's time for us to demand better.
Yes,
And
we
when people
should.
cannot do the job, they need to be eliminated from the job, or else you suffer. We
Definitely.
suffer. Yeah.
Because
So my people,
why when you see a police officer now, you have to wonder if it's really a cop or a criminal.
yeah,
What should
yeah.
I do? Am I safe
It's not
or should
safe.
I start running?
Not until it gets cleaned up, not until it gets investigated, evaluated, assessed, and you have recommendations after this, can you decide if you're going to trust it, because you don't know. Yeah. So we could go on and speak for a long time. We want to say thank you to all of you guys who stayed with us from beginning to end, and those of you who came on. Whenever you came on, you wrote, you asked questions, you shared. This is a direct appeal for information. Even to the people who might have committed this atrocity against Kanisha. All of us are human beings, and we have hearts. So if you saw something, if you heard something, or you were told something about Kanisha's disappearance, don't assume somebody else already reported it. Okay, you don't need to embellish, you don't need to make up, but maybe you can write down again, what you heard, what you saw. Okay, report it to the proper authorities. I know right now we're not even sure who the proper authorities are, but do your best, right? Take the next right step, and that would be bringing it to whomever is your proper authority right now. Okay, because something that might have seemed that doesn't make sense 4 years ago, with new techniques, strategies, tools, perhaps they can get a lot out of that. Yeah. I think, Marcelline, we're at a point and a juncture in Dominica's life cycle, mon cher, where we have to do better. As a public, we have to stop accepting nonsensical explanations for things that we don't accept anywhere else. We have to stop it. So, for example, if we were told in the press conference that there's going to be that the investigation is open, the public needs to know more. And definitely, we expect that the father would have some information by now. So, if somebody missed a step, we expect our police to reach out to this father of this child. Let the person know who is the investigator on the case. Let Mr. Ettienne know you have a liaison. This will be your person, your contact person. If something happens, we'll give you a call. We'll let you know something. If you find out something, call us. Maybe your ears are to the ground. You can figure something else out. Okay? We need to call for a fresh, and we need to see evidence of this. We are not letting Kernisha go. We are not letting Kernisha go. This is 2026. Whatever it is you used to investigate it in 2022, so much. I mean, even ChatGPT has entered the room, right? Run your stuff through some new systems and see what you get. She deserves this, okay? Request outside help from forensic and investigative people with more experience with this. Establish a missing persons unit. There are too many missing people on a small island like Dominica. And why we're keeping it hush hush? There's no list anywhere. I tried, I checked. The police, the site says that there is a list, but there was no real list on the list, right? There's nothing there. We need to strengthen welfare oversight of the kids who are in foster care. All right. And with other placements, we need a stronger system to support our children and our families who are struggling. Not everybody who gives birth to a child is ready for a child, has the money, the economic support, emotional support to take care of a child. Where the state is asking us to make more babies, they're saying our population is low. You cannot leave us unattended to, because you might have many children to increase your numbers on the books, but they're not getting the proper care. So you're going to have to strengthen up this welfare system if you want more people in the country. Okay? There are mandated reporting laws. Priests, pastors, teachers, nurses, therapists, counselors,
Lawyers.
lawyers have a responsibility when situations that suggest children are being abused show up. When it seems like they're not getting proper care, so there's neglect, we have to take the next step, do the right thing. Attorney Tika Jude has a proposal she's calling Jabia's Law. She wants our support to push this through the courts, to push this through the legislative system. All Dominicans need to get on board with this. All of us need to get on board with this. Talk to your parliamentary representative. They're up for election. Tell them this needs to be on your platform, or else I'm not voting for you. Okay? Let's refuse to allow our missing people. It's not even just children. There's so many people missing. I just read a little list of just mostly men, mon cher. Don't let them just be like birds on a branch. We are all one. This is how we create a safe society. If it's not safe for them, it is not safe for you. Okay? I want to say thank you again to Curtis for trusting us, Marcelline, with his story, his pain, right? Yes. And for us to see Kernisha again through his eyes.
Amen.
Because 4 years might have passed, but that doesn't erase a parent's love for their child, you know?
And the only child.
Only child, I mean, and our professionals can tell us that we have an open case, but an open case must mean more than an open file on somebody's desk to say, oh, look, I can reach for it. No, we need some new examination of evidence. We need you to, continue the investigation. If you say it's open, continue it. Keep us up to date, Curtis deserves answers. The public deserves answers. Kernisha is our daughter. Kernisha is our daughter.
Kernisha is Dominica.
She's Dominica. She's Dominica's child. We remember Jabia tonight too. Yeah. And every missing person who belongs to somebody's family. Our pain has to become more than just an experience. We have to do things with it. Okay? It's not about red, not about blue. It's about being Dominican and taking responsibility for the community we're creating. So share the live tonight, everybody. Share the conversation. Share your support. Marcelline, your final words as we say good night to everybody.
Well, just to add what you said, Margaret, so I would like to echo something to our welfare department. And the places where they put children, they have a place in Portsmouth. They call it, is it Chance? They call it
second chances.
Second chances.
Yeah, or chances.
When like vulnerable children are placed in those institutions, we want the directors and the managers of those institutions to understand that they are not placed in jail. It is not
That's
jail.
right.
C'est pas la jail. Persons who advocates and persons who work in those areas should be able to come in on a moment's notice so that they can interact with the children, they can see the children, they can what have you. What is it that you all have to hide? That persons who are interested, probably to make a donation or something, just want to see the children, then they're being, banished. Or you can't see the children. C'est pas la joie, mon cher. It's our children, our vulnerable children who are placed in your care, but that doesn't mean that the rest of Dominica does not care. So please make it easier for some interaction. Maybe you all will get more help before you apply your human side to that part of it, that aspect of it. And having said that, Margaret, I think I have said much more than enough. So what I would like to say this evening is thank you everyone for joining us this afternoon. We need to find our strength. We need to come together. We need to speak up. We need to do it for our children, for our communities, our country, And you need to do it. We need to do it together for our own peace. Because we can go back to Proverbs 31, that we have to speak up for those without a voice. Speak up for the motherless, the fatherless, and see that they get justice. See that they get justice. It is a moral and a spiritual obligation. And that is what good people do. So we must do it in the collective, and we must do more.
Indeed.
This is the tipping point, and we can do it, people. Yes, they have been requesting, they have written letters, they have asked for 13 years. But on this 14th year, we can call it the tipping point, because we can make it happen. And if we galvanize together and we go out there and we make it known, we take our placards and we make it known that we are not giving up, then they will listen, because they will say, these women, or the men and women who are out there, they are determined for change.
They're serious.
Mr. Blackmore, let us join Mr. Blackmore to say that these malefactors will not go unpunished. He will not leave any stone unturned. So this is one of the stones that's not going to remain down. Let us help him raise that stone to implement the right laws, remove the antiquated laws, so that we can protect our children, we can build stronger societies and a better country. And those of us who know something, say something.
Say something.
Say something. It starts from within the home. If you are not comfortable with the situation at your home and you observe something, stop loving your partner more than your children, that you have to sacrifice your children.
Get strong, get courageous again.
Children grow up. When they grow up, they have so much trauma and hate for you, the parent, that you wish that you had never been born. So let us do better, my people. We can do it for the sake of country and our children. May God bless us.
So here are a couple. Go ahead, Marcelline.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
And thank you to everyone who joined us today. This is a day of new beginnings. So let's keep our country safe. Let's keep ourselves safe. We have to keep ourselves safe by getting spiritual on the spiritual aspect of things, because we do Most High. We have to pray. We have to cover ourselves.
We are one. We have to go rescue those that are running off track, or else they will destroy us.
Very much so.
We cannot separate ourselves from them. We have to pull them back in.
So
the shepherd leaves 99 to go for the one that's falling off the cliff.
Very much so.
We cannot say we're going to try to do it our way and expect success.
No.
It's not going to work. Yeah, it's not going to work. So there are a few things, Marcin, I want all people to remember, like the march that's coming up on September 5th. It's called Protect Our Women and Children. And when you hear children, or little boys too.
Boys and girls.
Boys and girls. A peaceful gathering at Botanical Gardens is where the starting point is. They're gathering at 9 a.m. Bring your voices, bring your slogans, they're telling you. Bring your flags. Bring your voice to protest against the stuff. We've been doing too much of the negativity. And rally, bind together, wear something blue or orange. And I think who organizes? Tamanthea, I think is her first name. And I don't remember her last name. She says, together we can make a difference. We have to. Here's another call to action. Jabia's family said they're not the ones who requested it, but they're grateful to Kalian for organizing a GoFundMe to support the family as we as community give Jabia a proper send-off, a beautiful send-off. We have to use this as a life-changing moment. We cannot keep going on this path. It is a path to hell. And whoever is in support of that path to hell, we have to eliminate those things in the society. Okay? So even if it's $5, even if it's $1 plus 99 is 100. You understand? Do it as a way to say, I'm going to support, I'm part of this thing that you all are trying to do here for the community. Okay? And join with attorney Tika Jude. Follow her on Facebook. She's got a whole, she put the time in. This is her skill set. She put the time into organizing a lot of our thoughts where you over there you're saying raise the age from 16 to 18, somebody over there saying we need a missing persons unit, somebody over there saying we cannot wait 72 hours. She's put all of this together. Let's get on board. Sometimes we can get a little, oh, who is that doing that? I don't know that person. But what is the goal? What is the mission? Is it something you can get on board with? Get on board with it. You see, this is how we make our community, our society safe again.
Margaret Nasio is on board listening to us this afternoon.
Oh,
And
wow.
yes, did you even call the names of the persons who were here with us this evening? Did we?
Well, let's go ahead and tell them. Let's go back up, and we want to shout you all out and tell you all thank you very much again. I really appreciate that you all were staying with us, even while we were waiting for Curtis to come on board.
Mm-hmm.
You want to start, Marcelline? You see some? I see Ferdinand Lawrence.
Yes, let me see who we have here. Yes, Gerald Vital is here. He said, I believe that if we rise and take to the streets demanding change, change will come. And that is from Gerald Vital. Let's motivate our women. One, they can help to bring about meaningful change. Thank you, Gerald. Thank you. That is true. Kale said, what about the girl who used to live with Kernisha a few years before her death? Need to question why she ran away.
Wow.
And, yeah. Oh, Dave Bertrand is here with us as well. Let me see who we have. Chiqueto Thomas. FBI needs to come to Dominica and check on all these police officers. Full investigation on them. I support that too. Mary Benjamin, Wallace, I told him the same thing. He's a very strong guy and humble. And those are who I can see. Dave Bertrand, Anthony Simon, that's who I can see on my end.
I see Hetty Lawrence. I see Nicole Royer, Taiwo. Thank you. Taiwo said something that hit me, and there was a synchronicity in what Taiwo was saying and what Curtis was saying and what I was saying, and the word really the word is harvest. And I think we need to pay attention to that. That word, harvest, on different levels in Dominica. Now, please don't be afraid, to see the truth. Yeah, like to see. And there's something about harvesting that I think we the people have to be not afraid to see the truth about. Okay. Teresa. Role. Yeah, we've become an ill society. So we just have to know we have to change a lot of things if we want to reset. And I promise you, again, we know this. I know we know this, but I think a lot of us are afraid. But we got to put fear aside and do the right thing. Yeah.
Yeah, Jane and Kissy just came on and she said, yes, that child and the old man. Ah, Jesus, have mercy on us. But Margaret, you ever heard of anything
Marilyn,
that the child and the mother just went missing, Margaret? The mother went the same way as the
crazy, and to think there's no connection. It's just kind of weird.
Is it the same predator?
It's just very weird. Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah, there's a link there. There's something going on.
It's gonna be bad luck.
Just too many unanswered questions. And what that means is our resources need to be bigger to deal with so many unanswered questions. We don't just leave unanswered questions in a proper society. No, your resource level needs to increase to be able to absorb the fact that a lot of nasty things are happening. And then you have to ask, well, why are these nasty things happening? You know, how can we intervene so they don't happen, so we can keep everybody safe? Yeah, we don't get to pretend it's not happening and just go on about our business. That's kind of weird. That's just weird and unhealthy. That means we just, it's just going to keep continuing. So we have to do better. And us, we have to push it, because if you don't push, some people don't do. So you have to push. You have to be willing to push. You have to be willing at first to get a lot of resistance, because a lot of people won't want to hear what you're saying. They want it to be status quo. That's just a law in the universe, right? Everything wants to go back to equilibrium, even though doing the blah, blah, blah will be better for us. Most people are going to want to stay at status quo. Expect that and be willing to take a little bit of a beating. But which beating now? People talking about you? You know what I mean? Like, who cares? You got to be willing to fight, especially when you know you're right. Okay? All right, my people. Thank you all for listening to Pretty Girls Talk Politics too. All of this is politics, because we get to advocate for these changes in the community, in the society. Follow us at Pretty Girls Talk Politics too. Follow Marcelline Edwards until we're almost there at Pretty Girls Talk Politics too, to where we will let you all come on Sundays and on Wednesdays to that website. You know, once Facebook tells us we are good to go for lives, right? You'll be able to listen to us from there. So if you're not following us yet at Pretty Girls Talk Politics too, please follow us. You can follow me at Dr. Triphi. A lot of you listening from there. The YouTube, the LinkedIn, the Margaret Wallace, all of that. Okay? Nous ne parlons l'autre fois. Marcelline?
Bonsoir tout le monde.
Peace.
Bonne nuit. Adios. Thank you.
All right, my people.
Have a good one, Margaret.
You too, my dear. Sleep well.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Okay.